What's going on, guys? Today I'm here with Dylan. He's a VP of sales over at Roofing Pros USA. I'm Nick with one of the co-founders of NCT Media. We've been sending Dylan over here and his team appointments since when was it January, February, something like that?
Yeah, end of January. I think we got linked up, really got things rolling into February, I think.
Yeah, it was something like that. So pretty much like the entirety of 2025, and we've been sending them anywhere from like 500 to like upwards of 1,000 appointments a month, depending on the month, for the volume. And these guys have been bagging like 1.5 million a month or more, in certain months, like off of the appointments, and they've been killing it. Their teams are super dialed. I think one month you guys had a 73% close rate, and you guys are averaging like 50% close rate, like of sat appointments, which are super strong numbers. So. We just wanted to hop on. Just I want to kind of pick Dylan's brain a little bit, kind of get an idea of like what his sales process looks like to try to help you guys out as much as possible. So, I mean, Dylan, I don't know if you want to kind of get into your background of what you've done in sales and what kind of got you to this point.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I've been in sales in some capacity my whole life. Started out in HVAC, doing HVAC sales on the residential level and then commercial industrial level. I'm a builder in several states as well. Got into the roofing industry about 12 years ago. Very similar model, windows and doors, HVAC, roofing is similar sales processes if you're following, a good structure.
Mhm.
When I was got into roofing sales, I was selling roughly like, six, 700,000 a month by myself. At a startup company in Alabama, we took that thing from a startup, all the way up to, about $20 million a year company. Got it to where we had seven sales reps, making sure everyone's closing at 40%. And then came down to Roofing Pros USA. They were insurance based company primarily. They were looking to start residential, retail as well. Got in here. We started launched in January. And we're on track to do 24 million in the first year.
Killing it. Let's go. So let's kind of dig into like the nitty gritty of like the process that you've implemented with your team because I know you guys are doing some really good stuff over there. Obviously, like we see the data on our side of you guys closing like absolute assassins. That's what I tell people. You guys are like assassins when it comes to closing. So let's kind of go through it. So I want to like get an idea of your pre-call, your in-home process, follow up, like kind of like go through chronologically like what you guys do. So let's just say an appointment's booked, so we send you guys over an appointment. It hits your calendar. What does your process look like before the call, to make sure that you guys are closing at the highest rate possible? Because, like I said, your close rate's like 73% on one month. So, what does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, look, let's just call a spade a spade. It starts with the lead, right? Getting that lead in the door. That's where it all starts at. Y'all do a phenomenal job at that. Once we get it, we're going to confirm that appointment with our inside call center. So I've trained our inside sales team. Once they come in, they call them, ask them qualifying questions. We've got a script of 10 questions they go over, just
Mm,
getting the basic info. Letting them know the expectations. All decision makers are going to be present. We're going to offer them some same day savings
mm,
if all decision makers are there. Once they get that thing, locked in there, they reach out the day prior, just as a reminder, confirmation that our rep's coming out. Then at that point the rep goes out and runs the call. We've got a 12-step process in the house that we expect our guys to follow. The number one thing is it's all about the introduction, right? You've got to
mm,
be personable. You got to find something, around the yard, around the house,
mm,
something that you can relate to other than the fact of roofing. You're going to
mm,
ask some very basic questions at the door, just getting to know the homeowner a little bit more. Cut it up about it, whether it be a boat, a truck, a car, basketball, whatever you've seen around there that you can relate to.
mm.
And then let them know, hey, obviously we're out here to take a look at your roof, so why don't you tell me a little bit more about what you got going on, and then engage in them. So
Got it.
it's I tell all of our sales rep, man, you've got to have a 60-40 talk ratio. If you're engaging your customer and they're speaking to you 40% of the time, you're going to have a high close rate because that means that they're interested in what you're there to do.
Mm.
So that's something that's really important to us as well.
100%. Got it. Something that was interesting that I noticed. So like in your pre-call process, so like your confirmation process, you confirm with them, you ask them like your 10 qualifying questions, which I assume are kind of like basic, like homeownership status, like kind of stuff like that. Is there any like special questions you guys ask, or is it kind of just like vanilla qualifying?
Yeah, so I mean, we ask what kind of home it is. If it's a single family home, mobile home, split family home. We ask that for a few different reasons. That kind of allows us to know what we're walking into.
Hmm.
As far as what we're getting there to see, we ask them what kind of roof they currently have, whether it be shingle, metal, or tile. That also helps us know what we're walking into and gives the sales rep a little bit more information. But the big thing is each question we ask is leading to that final, question, and that's, to let them know that, hey, we're going to come out to help you with your needs. We need to make sure that everyone that's a decision maker is going to be present. The homeowners, a lot of times you'll get the okay, but why? Well, look, at the end of the day, no matter what, if you've got a husband or a wife, they're going to want to be a part of that. If nothing else, the color picking process. So we just want to make sure that everybody's present that needs to be present in order to make this decision and let us help you get whatever roof best fits your needs.
100%. And then something that like I was pointing to like this, you're pointing to like a same day savings. You're kind of like foreshadowing about them making like a same day decision.
Exactly. Yeah. So we give them a coupon code there when they agree that everyone's going to be present. Let
Mm.
them know that, hey, if all decision makers are present at the time of the appointment, we're going to give you a code. If you're willing to save us some time, we're willing to save you some extra money. And that's just making sure that everybody that needs to be there is there.
Interesting. So that's super powerful because if you give them an incentive, like they're going to show up at a higher rate, and then obviously if they redeem that coupon code same day, they're going to also close at a higher rate.
Absolutely, and it
Mm.
also keeps that objection out. There at the end of when you're closing the deal, you don't have to worry about that. Oh well, I got to talk to my wife, or oh I got to talk to my my uncle. I've got to talk to this person because when you do get that, you have the ability to say, oh wow, let me did my call center whenever they booked this with you, did they happen to tell you that all decision makers were going to need to be present?
Mm.
And then it also kind of, homeowners don't want you to feel like, that they've misled you, and they're like, oh yeah, yeah, they did say that. Well, look, no problem. I understand. We're all busy. A lot of people forget, but surely we can go ahead and get them on the phone where we can have this conversation, right?
Mm.
So it just allows you to, no matter what, you're going to get to talk to both decision makers, even if they're not all there.
No, yeah, 100%. Like that's huge. So it's like the same day or like the coupon for same day savings. It's clearing up objections about like both decision makers. It's increasing show rate because it incentivizes them to redeem that coupon, and then obviously like helps them like close same day. Like one of the notes I have here is like pretty much like I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Pretty much all your guys' closes, or at least a large majority of them, are their same day. Like they're signing on that very same day.
Yeah, we 98% of what we sign is same day.
That's unbelievable. Like that's crazy. And that coupon code, like that's I don't hear many people doing that. Like I could see like that working really, really well. It's super clever. Did you come up with that?
Yeah, yeah. So it works out well. So I can't take all the credit. So there's a guy that owns Top Rep, Chuck Folke. He's the guy that had a lot to do with getting Bath Fitter started. And that's kind of where he first stumbled upon the wanting to have a reason for those homeowners to make a decision that day.
Hmm,
And so he had the initial idea, and then we just kind of twisted it and developed it and made it a
got
little
it.
bit more of a straightforward process.
Got it. When you guys implemented that, like I don't know if you remember like any data. Do you remember like how much things improved as soon as you guys implemented that?
Dude, almost immediately by 25%.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just because you're setting the proper expectations. The guys that are out there just running around handing out estimates, man. Like, if I could tell anybody anything, it's like, man, stop wasting your time. Just showing up at a house, knocking on a door, and handing an estimate out. The close rate on that's extremely low.
Yeah.
You're not going to build a lot of interest. If they call you out there, you offer them one product, which is what they have, the closest thing to what they have. And if you're still following that business model, I mean, it's failing, and it's just not something that's scalable. You're not going to ever scale. You're going to be stuck in the same rotation.
No, yeah, 100%. And like that's something that like we observe as well because like obviously like we have other clients and we see them kind of follow like the kind of they kind of just like hand out estimates. There's not really any structure with the sales process and those are the clients that struggle, you know? So it's like I would agree with you completely. I want to go in more a little bit about your in-home process. So like you don't have to go through all 12 steps, but if there's like a couple things just on the in-home process itself that you guys have implemented that has exponentially helped you guys, what would those things be?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a couple things that are huge right at the beginning. Number one, we make all of our reps get on the roof and shoot a presentation for the roof. They're going to shoot a video versus taking photos.
Got it.
And that video is telling a story. And in that story at the end, you're sitting there letting the homeowner know again. The great news is you got us out here to take care of this problem today. That's how you finish up every video. And it's setting that precedence again. You're reminding them it's today. Okay. So you're gonna have that, in your video. The other big thing is we let everyone know we're gonna do an attic inspection.
Mm.
Let me ask you, what do you what would you think? Why do you think we would say, hey, we're gonna do an attic inspection?
See further damages?
The crazy thing is, man, that's very little to do with
Yeah.
it. Yeah. So what it's more about is we're setting the precedence. We're coming in your home.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Most attics, you got to get into the house. So
Hmm.
you're going to drop that little nugget in the introduction, letting them know that you're going to get into the attic, that we're going to have to do that. Now, yeah, it builds value, seeing some further damage, seeing some water and things like that, but it's more about setting the precedence that we are coming into the house.
Hmm.
So once we're in the home, we're going to do that attic inspection. That's the first thing we're going to do. As my guys are walking through, they're looking for the table. They're going to set their backpack down next to the table. I ask the homeowner, hey, is it okay if I go ahead and set this down here? And
Hmm.
all they're going to go into the attic with is their flashlight. Just that one little thing has got you in the house. You've found the table, you've set your stuff down, and you've set the precedence of this is where we're going to be at.
Hmm.
And it sounds small, right? It sounds like that's not that big of a deal. Like, yeah, okay, we're coming here to sell. We're going to sit down. Well, I can't tell you how many companies and how many reps just get stuck at the door doing a presentation. And if you're not sitting at a table, man, you've already lost. You've
Yeah.
already lost.
Yeah.
So that's huge. Once the attic inspection's done, we're going to sit down at the table. The very first thing while the rep's getting his stuff out and getting ready is he's going to let the homeowner watch that video. He's going to say, "Hey, obviously we're out here for the roof, but I just want to show you some things that I've noticed up there on the roof. Just show you some further damages that you may not have been aware that you have." Let them watch the video, and as soon as they're done watching that video, a pivotal question is did you realize how bad a shape that roof was in? Okay,
Mm.
so now you're really getting them involved and having them admit how bad their roof
Yeah.
is.
You're
So
like
that's
twisting
huge.
the knife on their pain.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that getting them to admit how bad a shape their roof is in is half the battle. Now it's a need. It's not a
Mhm.
want.
Yeah.
And that's huge. So once you're done with that, I would tell every company you need to do some company presentation at that point. Kind of talk about a little bit about who you are, what you do, why you do it, what makes you different than the other companies, whatever that case may be for your company.
Hmm.
And then at that point, you're going to go into the presentation. You're going to let them know. You're gonna need to have a presentation card. And if you're not doing good, better, best, man, you've already lost.
Yeah.
So it needs to be good, better, best, and you need to just say, hey, and now you're going to be able to pick out the product of your choice. Tap that card, and then start talking about your products.
Got it. Dude, that attic strategy is it's sick. Cause it's like and I tell people this as well, like I tell like my own like sales guys where it's like it's really hard to close somebody if they're at like a 2 out of 10. And like bringing them to like a 10 out of 10, like it's super hard. And that little attic thing, I could see them like if they're at like a 4 out of 10, like it kind of gets them up to like a 6, you know? Like it kind of gets you onto the table. It kind of builds like a little bit of like psychological trust because like you're in the house instead of kind of just like taking pictures on top of their roof. So that's super sick as well. That's super clever. Um, and then in terms of like follow up, I know you said 98% of everybody that you close is in home, but for like the 2% of guys that like fall off, like do you have any like sort of like follow up tactics that you tell your guys to make sure that these people are tied down?
Well, so here's the thing, man. When it comes to a sales strategy that wins in roofing and any home based product, it's all about today. Successful companies are going to close today. So my sales team knows that there's truly only two options. It's we're going to sell this today, or you're going to take that lead as far as you can possibly take it. Now, one thing that all of our sales teams are required to do is an MOD call. So if you're not going to close it, you went round and round and round, you're getting the no, you're going to make that MOD call to your manager.
Mm,
And they know that if there's something outlying that is truly a reason that, hey, I know I can close this at a later date, they're going to start that call off by, hey man, sitting here with Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, going over everything with them, and they definitely like our company, definitely like our products. They really want to go with us, but then give the reason that they're not ready to move forward right then and there.
mm.
And is there any way that we would be willing to extend those same day savings? I know it's not something we do, but is would there be any way that we would be willing to do that?
Got it. Okay. That's great too, because I mean, just like from the reps perspective, like they have to like retroactively like look at the conversation and kind of see the loose ends as well, like as they're going back through, like and trying to make that decision if this is something that's even worth giving those same day savings to.
Yeah, absolutely. So it sets the precedence with your reps as well that hey, if you're wanting to give that other opportunity, I need to know the reason. Otherwise, we need to be following the process.
No, yeah. Dude, that's pretty dialed. That's super dialed. Um, so dude, I mean, pretty much like I just wanted to end this off like with asking you some like bird's eye view type questions because like we got like pretty nitty gritty and like I think we found a couple of nuggets that like the people watching this can implement right now and just instantly see like those um increased results. Kind of like what you said, like the same day coupon, like you just instantly pretty much saw like 25% improvement of like your guys' sales efficiency. So and I know you've talked to lots and lots of roofing companies, and obviously you've been in the game for a very, very long time. So, from your perspective, what are the biggest mistakes that roofers are making right now that are just keeping them mediocre with their performance?
So here's the thing, man. Number one thing with marketing, you're all in or you're all out.
Mm,
Trying to save dollars on the front end in marketing, it just simply doesn't work. I get it's a big investment. That's why you need to make sure that you do your homework and find a quality company to get your leads from. But if you're just sitting there dabbling in marketing, you're spending a little bit of money here and there, and you're not ever really giving something a chance to know if it's working. I mean, realistically, good strategy is 90 days, man. If you're gonna go in with something, give it 90 days.
mm,
So that's huge on the marketing standpoint. That's really important up front. Secondly, make sure you have a process. Make sure you develop a sales process. You need to have a team that is working with the same structure, every single guy on that team following the same structure, and have a quality manager that can take that MOD call. If you don't have a manager on duty that can assist with closes when it's needed, you're definitely losing on that forefront. And then also, on the back end, making sure that you have customer service. And what I mean by that is make sure your sales team is telling your customers exactly what you're going to be doing, whatever your realistic expectation of install is. Make sure you're setting proper expectations, and then make sure that your production team is following those processes on the back end. And if you do that, you're going to have 100% customer retention. That's a lot of roofing companies lose customers. They'll go out and they'll sell at a good rate, but then they won't have the follow through on the back end to actually retain those customers. So that's really huge as well.
100%. Like I'm sure you've heard like the saying truth sells. The truth sells. You know, it's like you can get someone to sign a contract, but if they sign the contract and then quickly realize, oh wow, this is a lot different than the contract I signed or like whatever, then like obviously there's going to be some issues with retaining them. So, um, perfect. And then I guess the last question, like if you could tell a roofer just three things that they can implement today, how and how they can drastically like improve their processes, like what would those three things be?
Yeah, so you said it right there, man. Today, that's what it's
Hmm,
all about, right? So, you know, stop with the just giving quotes out immediately. Quit. It's a losing practice. Even most major companies have realized that it's failing now. I mean, I know Best Choice is even stepping away from it. So definitely quit that if you're still messing with that model. Number two, get a quality inside sales team. Man, I see most companies skip out on that because they're just like, oh, I don't want to waste the money. On inside sales, if you have a quality inside sales team, your sales team is going to perform at a much higher level. And then, third, make sure that you have a sales process for your team to follow. I mean, that's the three major things. You've got to have someone that comes in and implements a sales process that works. No matter who that is, you just need to make sure you have a plan in place to follow.
100%. I mean, it makes a lot of sense because like if you have guys that are kind of just bumbling around, like they kind of just like there's not really any process. It's very fluid. It's going to be very hard to improve upon those things because one guy's doing something different from the next. So it's going to be really hard to implement as a team because everybody's kind of doing their own thing. So.
Yep, absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, Dylan, I appreciate you for hopping on, man. I think this is super valuable. So for everybody watching, so both Dylan, and I, so like our whole team, we're going to be in this group. So if you guys have any questions about anything, like we're going to be there to help you guys out. We're all here to like help you guys scale to your desired scale, like 8 figures and above. So, Dylan, once again, dude, I really appreciate the time. Be blessed, brother.
All right, man, you too.
All right, peace.